I mean, absolutely. I mean, obviously things will have tactically changed. We live in an era of neoliberal policing, and the police employ civilian staff for all sorts of roles, from front of house right through to the use of professional infiltrators. That happens extensively in criminal cases. Obviously, it's going to happen in what they would deem political cases as well. Obviously, there's been a huge increase in the ability of using electronic surveillance in a multitude of ways. I think people misunderstand a lot of that. They kind of see these things as being individual things. They actually all work together. And they also kind of, I think people think there's like algorithms or stuff. The reality is that huge numbers of special branch officers are working in desk-based roles. The disruption to the deployment of undercover officers from the exposure of Mark Kennedy back in 2010, it really only affected, the NPORU, which was then kind of merged into Counterterrorism Command, with a bunch of other police sections. The desk roles, such as they are by special branch, continued unabated. Political policing has never gone away. If anything, it's just grown. I couldn't like we don't know the tactics they use, but we can be fairly sure that the information they're after is the same information they've always been after. And if we look through the old like undercover police reports, we can see what they're collating, and it's information that's ideal for vetting, or as we would call it, blacklisting. People's it's full names, addresses, their connections with other people, their trade union affiliation, their kind of employment, where they work, who they work with, who they know. And if so many of these reports are just lists of names and addresses, some of them going into thousands and thousands of names, because they infiltrated conferences and managed to get hold of the attendees lists. That information is being fed directly into the blacklisting processes that exist in this country. And they go back a long way. I mean, essentially, there's a reason why, because the left has been so targeted in this way. There's a reason why that people with those kind of opinions have been kept out of the civil service, kept out of the BBC and other aspects of the media. Obviously, because the far right weren't targeted in this way, they've been able to continue to influence British society in a way in which the left has not, despite the fact that they have much less support. I think that's two-pronged, right? I think when it comes to protecting ourselves, I don't think we can protect against the deployment of undercover officers in the abstract, because we don't know what kind of tactics they use. It might be electronic and stuff, but we can protect against a lot of the tactics they used. As well as evidence gathering, a huge part of their role was destabilizing, undermining and destroying social movements. And the way they did that was by fostering internal division through gossip and scandal, by taking personal disagreements and turning them into political ones. That's something that the left often does without the help of undercover cops, and it's a huge problem. And I think by not doing that, we protect ourselves much better against infiltration than any other single thing we could do. I remember, Michael Jacobs, who was the undercover officer that infiltrated my group, when you'd meet up with him, he'd say, "Oh, any gossip or scandal?" And it was kind of a joke, but it was kind of very much like his way in to undermining the group, to creating divisions within the group, making people fall out, making the group become very inward looking, getting involved in purity tests about people having the right line on particular issues. All these things really undermine campaigns and make them much less effective. In terms of what we can do in order to kind of cope with the rightward drift of mainstream politics, I think more than anything else, we need to be confrontational. That's not a call to violence or anything like that, but it's got to be confrontational. It's no good kind of having working really hard on getting the right form of words together. You've got to go out there and actually put your body in the way. That means turning up, that means mobilizing, that means confronting things, and not backing down from them. And that takes a multitude of forms. But if we fail to do that, then we hand the future to the far right.